Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Pol. Welcome to Polki Bowl. Today is 8th of February 2025, and I'm going to talk about the Delhi election results, right? Surprising election results. I never thought the BJP would win. I thought thoda takkar denge and ultimately aap jeet jayegi. Because since 2014, I would say the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal have been the rulers of Delhi in a lot of ways, right? To the extent that is possible. The BJP did try to mess with them, honestly, with the governor and everything, as per Aam Aadmi Party. And, there were some failed bids from Kiran Bedi, I remember, from, Manoj Tiwari also in the past. And now, this time round, if you think about it, there was no clear leader of the BJP, right? Like they were like they were using Prime Minister Narendra Modi's name in promoting the BJP in Delhi, right? And I probably think they probably thought कि भाई एंटी इनकम्बेंसी आ गया 10 साल हो चुके हैं what we are definitely have a chance this time around. But if you think about it, usually the BJP does have a face, even if that face for a state does not become the prime minister, the chief minister, it does have a leading face, right? That's how every party goes. So today I think the BJP has won what 48 seats. The Aam Aadmi Party has like 22 seats or something of that sort. Last I checked, आगे पीछे हो रहा है. And the Congress still has 0 seats, which is incredible, right? We even had the AIMIM get involved in the Delhi elections. Like I don't know why, how, but okay, they probably have pan India aspirations. It remains to be seen what comes out of it, right? Like many people accuse them of BJP's B party and secret Trojan horse and all of that, but I don't understand all of that, right? What I do understand is that finally Delhi is with BJP after 26 odd years, right? Like you have like Arvind Kejriwal himself lost his seat. I think Manish Sisodia lost his own seat, and I think Atishi Marlena, she's someone who got retained her seat, which says a lot, right? Because Atishi Marlena has shown that hey, I'm an actual politician, and I have ground support, and I'm not only someone who's just from Oxford and all of that, right? Like she does have ground level support, no doubt about it. Although it's very weird, right? Like India and Indian politicians, the obsession that we have with failed ideologies like communism, right? Like I get where it comes from. We have way too many poor people for any one of us to be purely capitalist, like one would say the Americans are. But if you like, because the reason I say that is because Atishi Marlena, like her surname, is actually a mixture of Marx and Lenin. Marlena, that's and she just created that new surname for herself, which I just find incredible, right? Like we even have like politicians in our country. Like I think the chief minister of Tamil Nadu is called Stalin, right? Like not I think he is Mr. Stalin, and he is the late Karunanidhi's son. So these are very powerful people, very important people, very successful people, and they I mean India still has a huge amount of people who believe that like communism is something that can be implemented, whereas the originators and the major proponents of that ideology have like long abandoned it. The Russians abandoned it, like the Eastern Europeans very much abandoned it. You have the Chinese who definitely abandoned it in the 70s and 80s when they tied up with the Americans and realized ye nahi chalne wala. Our country is the only country which probably a major country which has such a huge hangover. You can't compare us to a Cuba, right? Like, so I mean, so this is like coming back to the Aam Aadmi Party, right? Like, I personally feel that this was long overdue because what does the Aam Aadmi Party even stand for? Like I have always felt they have had an outsized impact and an outsized voice. Their volume was way high than what it should have been. For a party that hardly ever does anything in the Lok Sabha, it's a very irrelevant party on a national scale, right? It is a party like I'll talk about the Aam Aadmi Party first, and then I'll get into like what it means for Kejriwal and all of that because people think oh they are one and the same, but not necessarily because the Aam Aadmi Party is also successful in Punjab, right? Like they clearly and remember the genesis of the Aam Aadmi Party was against the Congress. They were united in opposition against the Congress. And if anyone remembers the India Against Corruption movement, even Baba Ramdev shared the stage with a lot of these protesters, right? Like Anna Hazare and Arvind Kejriwal and Baba Ramdev and all. The government of that time did lathi charge against these people, just by the way. And of course, Arvind Kejriwal came out of it, formed the Aam Aadmi Party, and he swept the Delhi, elections. And in fact, once they had won 68 out of 70 seats. It's insane when someone does that, right? I think it was 17 or something, and 2019 or something. I'm forgetting now, but the amount of success Aam Aadmi Party had in Delhi was astounding. But the challenge is Delhi is a very small, it's a small territory. Okay. And when someone so inconsequential has such a large loudspeaker, such a loudspeaker, I would say, like it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, when they won Punjab, that's when I was like, okay, now they're a serious party, right? So the Congress would have thought, ki, you know what, we are part of the India Alliance and all of that nonsense. The reality is that the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have the same voter base. They have the same voter base, okay? And they realized, and oh, by the way, Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party were the first party in the last decade or a decade and a half, a decade, I would say, who really started out with the whole freebies thing, right? Like, water bill maaf kar dunga, light bill maaf kar dunga, this and that. Now, that directly affects the nation's exchequer and the state's exchequer, definitely, right? And it's not like the Congress and the BJP haven't done it. Like, I live in Maharashtra, right? The election was practically won on freebies. Ladki Bahin, which everyone calls Ladki Bahin for whatever reason. I don't know how difficult it is to pronounce Ladki. And it is basically an adaptation of the Ladli Behna, which was used so effectively in Madhya Pradesh by Shivraj Singh Chauhan, right? So the fact that even this time, by the way, they did announce that like free bus rides and everything have been announced even by the BJP who has won, just by the way, right? And if I'm not wrong, they are even extending the payments, the Ladki Bahin, version in Delhi also. So this UBI, with Universal Basic Income thing that is happening, it's definitely going to continue wherever we go at this point. But it was started by the Aam Aadmi Party, and I personally feel that this is a case study that you can only continue it for so long. One would say 10 साल की और कितना चाहिए. I would say if people took Delhi seriously, like Congress and BJP, if they really took Delhi more seriously, the Aam Aadmi Party would have lost it like long back. In the last election itself, they would have lost it, right? Delhi today is one of the most polluted cities in the world. When I was growing up, that wasn't the case. Yeah. See, when I was growing up, like when we were growing up, India was one of the poorest countries in the world. Even today, we are one of the poorest countries in the world, despite the amazing strides that we have made, and we have taken out 300, 500 million people out of poverty. Okay, we have done great. But in terms of pollution, we have gone backwards. Some would say, including me at times, ki this is a sign of, just one of those things that happen when a country progresses, when it's developing. China had the same problem. The Americans had the same problem. The British had the same problem in the early 20th century. The Americans also had the same problem with their smoke-filled cities and everything. So, and factory violations and all of that. India and China are facing the same, and Chinese are 20 years ahead of us any which ways, right? They're 20, 25 years ahead of us. So, but Delhi, for how long? Every year, like I see my friends, they share photos and videos, and it looks like they're in a chamber, in a gas chamber or something. It's that scary. यार उनके घर के बाहर सामने नहीं दिखता उनको. It's so scary. And for how long can the nation's capital be humiliated so bad? That मतलब कुछ मतलब pollution तो solve नहीं हो रहा है. The Yamuna looks like a Rin सफेदी वाला ad, and not in a good way. There is like वो foam वोम आता है यार वो यमुना नदी में. Like okay, I'm from Mumbai, I have no right to talk about clean rivers, I get it. But dude, it's not as grotesque as the Yamuna, right? And you just look at it, I'm like, wow, this is so, yeah, ugh. It's not good. Something has to be done about it, right? I mean, that's, and I know for a fact that okay, Mumbai has its own problems, like, but they're solvable. Delhi का तो solvable लगता भी नहीं है, पता है? दिल्ली का कुछ solvable लगता भी नहीं है. That is the scariest part, and maybe because of that, the आम आदमी पार्टी was told कि सर आपका बस हो गया, अभी कट लो तुम, कितना भी freebies वीबीज दे दो, नहीं चलेगा ये. Freebies are like that one move that you make in a fight, right? Like you can use it once or twice. Third, fourth time you'll be caught. People are like, okay, too predictable. So at least that is the light at the end of the tunnel that I see. That these insane freebies that every government has been passing around, I think they'll have some sort of rational end to them after a point of time. Let's hope so. because it comes from yours and mine tax money, nothing else, just by the way. So that is one. So Aam Aadmi Party has a huge battle to fight because in the Lok Sabha also they don't do anything. They're a very irrelevant party. I personally feel. I think उनको आवाज ज़्यादा मिलता है because all the media networks are in Delhi, by the way, NCR area. नोएडा में है, दिल्ली में है, उसके वजह से ये सारा मीडिया वाले लोगों को बहुत मजा आता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी वालों से बात करेंगे. And they have a party of very good orators, let's be very frank, right? And very polished individuals. So their networking is amazing. Their marketing is very crisp and new and fantastic. So I think, and also they have the amount of money spent by the Aam Aadmi Party buying media ads is incredible. They've spent thousands of crores just buying ads across the country. And whenever they contest anywhere outside of Delhi and recently Punjab, right? Except those two places, they never do anything. They're just there and nobody understands why. They have, यार वो सुनना पड़ता है ना कि इतने छोटे आदमी का मैं क्यों बात सुनूं when there are bigger ones, even the Congress, which is not doing well, it's at its lowest point in its history in a lot of ways. Congress is the only major opposition in this country on a national level. The Aam Aadmi Party is not. Now the only state that they rule in a way is Punjab, right? And Punjab has its own challenges, right? Like if they turn it around, fantastic. It's about the country, right? Desh ka bhala hona chahiye. So I hope the Aam Aadmi Party does well in Punjab. I think Punjab has supported India, the union, so much. Their problems which are now really out in the open, they get solved. But I won't, wait with bated breath because I personally feel the execution of the Aam Aadmi Party is not that great at this point. Because if you think about it, right, like the people of Delhi moving on to Arvind Kejriwal, a politician who I at one point of time looked upon as a messiah. Like I was young, I was stupid. And then like within a couple of years, like I saw, oh my God, he's such a slimy, such a slippery guy in a way. I'm not saying all other politicians are great, like very nice people. वो मतलब मेरा दोस्त type है कोई. No. But at least they're more honest than Kejriwal, right? Kejriwal बोल रहा कुछ है, कर रहा कुछ है. So I was like, it was too blatant. What Kejriwal did was too blatant for my liking. So I am honestly happy that he has been sidelined even by on the national level by the people of this country and even by the people of Delhi in the state elections. So when I saw that, I was like, very good. Let him go back to the drawing board and come back with like a different positioning other than ये सब मिले हुए हैं एंड मोदी जी ये करना चाहते हैं, मोदी जी वो करना चाहते हैं, मेरे हाथ बंधे हुए हैं, मेरे अगेंस्ट ये है, मेरे अगेंस्ट वो है. अरे भाई तुम कितना सी what got you here is not going to take you forward. He's not able to understand it probably, where he thinks अभी भी मैं आंदोलन करूंगा. Arvind Kejriwal still acts like he's a protester with his Wagner and he's out there, protesting. Like, sir, आपको power में रह के 10 साल हुआ है. You had two states under your control. What is wrong with you? Act with a little bit of dignity, right? And I want Arvind Kejriwal to succeed, frankly, because I think there needs to be a diversity of options in front of Indians, okay? I'm not loyal to any party. I'm just loyal to this country, being very frank. And whatever is good for the country, they should pick it up, ideally. So I feel, what's the worst part? Usually people, when politicians are jailed, when they come out, they actually do better. ये इधर उल्टा हो गया है. Arvind Kejriwal was in jail during the Lok Sabha elections. His party was wiped out in the Lok Sabha elections in Delhi. Okay. And now in the, assembly elections, again, like he's failed. So usually you get that thing, right? Oh, they put me in jail. Someone's working against me. This, that, the same thing that happened with the Sorens in Jharkhand, right? Where the people were like, नहीं यार ये गलत हो रहा है हमारे लीडर के साथ. दिल्ली में भाई ये भाई साहब जेल में किसी को फर्क नहीं है, एक प्रोटेस्ट नहीं, कुछ नहीं, वो चलते ही जा रहा है, जो चल रहा है चलने दो टाइप्स हो रहा था वहां पे, which just shows how far his star has fallen in a lot of ways, right? So coming back, I think Arvind Kejriwal, I think he needs to go back to the drawing board and come up with a new strategy, honestly, because that whole thing about Modi ji aise Modi ji waise, you can't do that. And probably focus on Punjab and show some results over there, so because the people of Delhi though have told him ki take a break for 5 more years. And now, even if Mr. Kejriwal is going to come out there and make a nuisance of himself, I think it will be very irritating because at least back then he had like a couple of states with him, right? So he was a decent politician. At this point, he's a one state party in a lot of ways, 1.5 state party. So I don't know why we should be even listening to them, the Aam Aadmi Party. They're not important. It's just that the media में हवा बना है उन लोगों का. correct? So that's my honest belief about the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. Third is I'll talk about the BJP. I think BJP has done fantastically well, but I just hope they genuinely focus on improving the pollution situation. Now they have no more excuses, right? Like सेंटर भी आपका है, स्टेट भी आपका है, डबल इंजन सरकार आप बोलते रहते हो, करो अभी, करो अभी. I think they should do it. Who's going to be the chief minister? Nobody knows, right? I think they had a lot of support by the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress did not fight together, right? Which just shows the hubris of the Aam Aadmi Party and the leadership over there, where they were like कि हमको किसी का गरज नहीं है, हम अकेले ही कर लेंगे. And it also shows that the real opposition of the country is just not there. There is no real opposition. The India Alliance and all is fake, if you ask me. Oh, that spokespeople of AAP and Congress and Shiv Sena have been arguing and fighting with each other for the last 3 months. वो महाराष्ट्र इलेक्शन से लेकर अभी तक मैं देख रहा हूँ. आई ओपन इंडिया टीवी एंड वो बीजेपी वाले को लड़ने का गरज ही नहीं है. Like you have the Congress guy and the AAP guy and the Shiv Sena guy at each other's throat, which shows that the Indie alliance kind of is not as strong as they would like it to be. I think it's just existing as of now. They did all they could in the Lok Sabha elections, and I think it worked in their favor. I have a theory about that too. I'll come to that later. But the BJP has a great chance to do well in Delhi. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off. I hope they pull it off. Now they have no more excuses. They need to solve the pollution issue, and they need to solve the Yamuna pollution issue. They definitely cleanliness and pollution issue. They need to. It's incredible at this point. Like this is not solved. It's embarrassing that it's not solved. It's a nation's capital, right? Let's focus on that one. And yeah, that is on the BJP. On the Congress, I have nothing to say because they have got nothing in Delhi. It again shows that I think Kejriwal lost his election, his seat by 3,500 votes, and Sheila Dikshit's son won 3,000 odd votes. So vote kata hai. Okay, the BJP has benefited massively because the Congress fielded candidates against the Aam Aadmi Party, right? And which is incredible. It shows that every party is out there for itself. If the India Alliance were real, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened, right? In Congress, in Haryana, Congress did the same. हम अकेले लड़ेंगे, हार गए. आम आदमी पार्टी did the same thing in Delhi कि हम अकेले लड़ेंगे, हार गए. Not everyone's Mamata Banerjee, right? कि इधर मैं इधर का लीडर है. No one can touch me. Mamata Banerjee is a great politician. I may not agree with her politics or her performance at all, but she's someone you can't mess with. She's someone who has not been defeated, won't be defeated for a while, and yeah, I mean, Arvind Kejriwal losing has come as a surprise to me, but also if you look at it, like the amount of discord, the amount of unnecessary, controversies that have happened in the recent past when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party. There's so much noise, यार. मेरे को नहीं सुनने का है. तुम काम करो और ये सब करो. आप नौटंकी बंद करो. That is my only thing. So I think the nautanki noise levels are going to go down, and I hope the Aam Aadmi Party comes back in a better form. I hope Arvind Kejriwal comes back in a better form. I hope the Congress learns its lesson. I hope the BJP doesn't take things lightly. And just because you won it doesn't mean... I mean, when a party wins an election, they have to perform also. Yeah? Like, kya chal raha hai? Like, we need Delhi to be safe. We need Delhi to be unpolluted. थोड़ा तो effort मारो. बीजिंग में आज भी problem है pollution का, but they have still done a few things to counteract it, right? So these are my thoughts on the Delhi election results. Let me know what you think. This was Polkeball. Thank you so much. Genuinely, like maybe you disagree with me, but let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.